Now, according to reports, some policemen and women attached to the Marian police station allegedly extorted 200,000 naira from a phone engineer, Ibrahim Saliu, who recounted that the trouble began when the police apprehended him and his brother, Olaya Murtala, for failing to produce an identification card or receipts for the phones found with his brother. Now, Saliu said that he had dispatched his brother to his store with 6 iPhones. However, during a random stop and search, the police intercepted them and escorted them to the station. He further alleged that the DPO and his officers connived to extort him after removing the warranty stickers on his phones. And this has led to the Lagos Police Commissioner ordering the immediate removal of the DPO for leadership dereliction and supervisory ineptitude, adding that all the officers involved had been identified and were undergoing trial. This concept is not very new. In fact, if you lived in Lagos, Nigeria, anytime in your life, or you still live in Nigeria, in Lagos, Nigeria, you would have experienced police extortion at some point. And that's why we are reopening the wound to talk about it again, because in all honesty, it never healed. But anyways, joining us to discuss this, we have our guest in the house, Barrister Chijioke Nwobodo, retired Deputy Inspector General of Police. Thank you so much, Barrister Nwobodo, for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, now, this concept is an all too familiar one. And I think my first question will be, why exactly has it dragged for so long? Why have we been experiencing extortion by security personnel for so long?
Corruption in Nigeria is pervasive. Extortion by people in authority, whether they be policemen or different agencies, has become a recurring decimal in the Nigerian space. Unfortunately, the police is supposed to be exemplary, but it has continued because the policemen do not fall from heaven. They are recruited from Nigeria. And the bad culture, the very wrong culture of corruption and bad example that we have seen in society, politicians, the way they behave, the way they rob the public dry, loot public treasury and everything. It's like no one wants to be left out of the game of corruption or extortion whatsoever. The policemen are recruited, and the process of recruitment even do not include a background check and all that. So it is not surprising that things like this continue to happen.
Right. Now, the CP, the new CP, Owunwa, was recently promoted to the position, and this has led a lot of people to think that the issue of extortion was not taken seriously before now. It's just an initial show-off, and such strict measures will soon be forgotten. What is your thought on that?
It will be wrong for anybody to say that police does not take it seriously. The police is perhaps about the only agency that every time men do something wrong, we come out publicly, we tell the public that we have to take disciplinary measures. And of course, we do take disciplinary measures. They try them on the room for those of them who are supposed to go on the room. And you have seen policemen being ranked openly, and the media has been covering it. A number of them have been reduced in rank. A number of policemen have been reduced for various infractions. So, how many agencies do that in Nigeria? So, the police takes it seriously. But like I said earlier, it's unfortunate that the culture of corruption, those who are leaders in various forms, whether political and otherwise, have told the country that, well, it's okay to be corrupt, it's okay to do things wrong. So the other people are playing the line.
Okay. Now, Barrister, a lot of these people carry out these things on the roads without supervision. What measures do you think can be put in place to checkmate their activities while they're on duty?
Not supervision, of course, supervision by senior officers. These days, I must say that I have observed that men are just posted. Men are posted for duty. Those who are supposed to be commanders, who are supposed to be supervisors, they go to sleep. You don't do it that way. What you are supposed to do is when you post your men on duty, you should check them from time to time. You should go there and visit them and know what they are doing at all times. Check what they are doing. And if they don't know when you will be coming, and they know that certainly you could come at any time, of course, they will have a tendency to comport themselves. But I think there is a general lack of supervision these days by those who are supposed to be supervising the men and those who are supposed to be commanders. And the only way to do is to reverse that.
All right. Now, Barrister Chijioke, just like the NSAS period where some people try to give excuses for these security operatives, do you think that their salaries or the lack of enough of it plays a role in extortion? Because a lot of times you hear these people say things like, they don't pay us enough and, you know, we have to eat, we have families and things like that. So do you think the government or the country generally doesn't pay much attention to giving these people better living conditions?
Well, the government could do more. The government could do more, but I personally do not even buy the excuse that the fact that government is not doing one thing or the other gives you reason to extort or to misbehave. Before you joined the police force, you made up your mind. You knew you wanted to join the police, and you decided to join. You got recruited, and you should know that you should subject yourself to discipline and to the conditions there. Yes. By way of repetition, the government could do more. The government certainly could do more. But that is not a justifiable reason or an excuse for those who are in police uniform to misbehave.
Right. And I mean, what's the guarantee that this kind of things won't happen again in the future?
Human beings, they say, is capricious. Man is capricious. And when you say that man is capricious, it means that man has a tendency to misbehave, to do the wrong things. It's only when a proper supervisory mechanism is put in place that you can check them. And when those who do it get disciplined, they are punished. Yes, of course, there are lots you can do. The police, every time we are talking about police reform, if there is no serious commitment to reforming the police, if you want to reform the police right from the laws establishing the force to those bodies that are supervising it and all that, needs to be rejigged. There has to be a kind of a re-engineering of the laws, because police have too many people supervising them. You have to talk about logistics. You have to talk about even our manpower management. There need to be rejigged. Sometimes you find out that there is no recruitment of policemen for sometimes up to 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Who does that? Is there any system? Will Shell not recruit for 5 years? Will Chevron not recruit for 5 years? Why will an agency, sometimes you find the police is separately with the commission, and then the process of recruitment does not take place. Sometimes the government does not even give the leeway to go ahead for recruitment to take place. So these are issues. The police is also not properly funded. We keep on talking it. It has become a recurring decimal, something that is routine. But you do something about it. Do something. Let there be some serious commitment to reforming the police. Okay, imagine when you go to some of these police investigating bodies, if you report a matter, you have to fund the investigation? What is the provision to fund the investigation? The purpose of investigation is to collect evidence, to find the truth, and with which you prosecute offenders. When you prosecute offenders and they get punished, it's part of a deterrent to will-be offenders. And then to will-be offenders. So that is the purpose. That's the purpose of the investigation. So the government should have a commitment, should be committed to ensuring that these things are done. It is not necessary. It's true. It may be my money that is stolen. But when the prosecution takes place, it's the state. It is the state against the individual who has committed the offense. So the state should sponsor it. The state should sponsor the investigation and ensure that those who are offended are prosecuted. When they are prosecuted, they are punished, and that serves as a deterrent. It serves as a deterrent to would-be offenders. We are it is lip service to most of these things that we are doing. We are not doing what we are supposed to do. I served for 35 years in the police force, and I retired about 4 years ago. I have had this so many. Every government that comes talks about police reform. When are we going to stop talking about police reform and actually reform the police? And when are we going to stop about terrorizing and going ahead? There is a whole lot that ought to be done. A whole lot. Talking, like I said, by way of repetition, talking from recruitment, training, logistics, funding, and all these things need to be rejigged. And so, that is my take.
Right. Talking about recruitment and training, do you think that there should be programs or maybe rule book reinforcement for these people to remind them of the punishment or the consequences of these kind of actions constantly?
Yes, of course. There is supposed to be a program of training and retraining, refresher courses and all whatnot. That should be in place. Unfortunately, how do you fund them? How do you really fund? How do you when the amount the fund department? What do you do? And you see, knowing all this, the police, the government, the previous government enacted the police trust fund. The purpose of the police trust fund was to give the police state-of-the-art training, welfare of the police, for the welfare of policemen, and also for state-of-the-art training. Well, as far as I'm concerned, the last executive secretary of that organization, he helped himself. He has done well, and he has become a governor. But do you have a state? Are the policemen receiving state-of-the-art training? Are they receiving state-of-the-art? Are they receiving state-of-the-art equipment? Are they? And yet, it's a humongous amount of money, a humongous amount of funds that accrues from a certain percentage of profit made by companies in Nigeria go to that. Federal government contributes to it, state government contributes to it, and all that. And it does not help the police in any way, as far as I'm concerned. They should tell us what they have been doing with the money.
All right. Barrister Chijioke Nwobodo, retired Deputy Inspector General of Police, thank you so much for joining us on the program and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.